Let's start with the out question on page 2. Mario has 142 model cars. Thomas has 12 more than Mario. How many model cars do they have in all? First, look at how many model cars does Mario has. The question states that he has 142 cars. How about his friend Thomas? Thomas has 12 more than Mario. So we can use the method of duplicate. Mario has 142 cars. Added by 12. To obtain the number of cars that Thomas got. So he has 154 cars. Now altogether, how many cars do they have? Mario has 142 cars. Adding how many cars does Thomas have? 154. So together, we have 296 cars. Let's move on to page 3. Dennis has 46 baseball cards. He receives 15 more baseball cards from his friend. Jackson has 55 baseball cards. How many more baseball cards does Dennis have than Jackson? First, how many cards does Dennis have originally? The question states that he has 46 cards. Then his friend gave him 15 more. So how many cards does he have now? We can use the method of duplicate again. He has 46 cards originally. Then added the 15 cards that his friend gave him. We have 46 plus 15 equals to 61. How about Jackson? He has 55 cards. And the question now asks us to find how many more cards does Dennis have than Jackson. Dennis has 61 cards. And Jackson have 55 cards. So 61 subtracted by 55 equals to 6. Let's move on to the out question on page 4. Read the clues, then write each girl's name under the correct picture. First, Sue is taller than Dee. Second, Beth is taller than Jane. And the last clue is Jane is taller than Sue. So who is Sue, Dee, Jane, and Beth? According to the first clue, Sue is taller than Dee. If Dee has 1 block, how many blocks does Sue have? She will have 2 blocks. Let's read the second clue. Beth is taller than Jane. We may read the third clue first. Jane is taller than Sue. Now Sue has 2 blocks, then how many blocks does Jane have? She'll have 3 blocks. Let's go back to the second clue. Beth is taller than Jane. So how many blocks does Beth has? Jane has 3 blocks, so Beth will have 4 blocks. So who is the tallest? Beth is the tallest. And the second tallest is Jane, the one with the purple top. The third one will be Sue, the one in the pink top. And the shortest one will be Dee, the one with blue jeans. Let's move on to page 7. May is 8 years old. On her birthday, 8 candles were used. Her sister is 5 years older than her. If 1 big candle is used instead of 10 smaller candles, how many candles are used on her birthday, including the big candle? First, how old is May? She's 8 years old. How about her sister? Her sister is 5 years older than her, so we may use duplicate again. Her sister will be 8 plus 5 equals to 13 years old. So the question states that 1 big candle equals to 10 smaller candles. Now her sister is 13 years old. So 13 equals to 110 and 3. So there will be 1 big candle and 3 smaller candles on her birthday cake. Together, there will be 4 candles. Now let's move on to the second OWL question. Jade is making a craft with different shapes of paper. She's using 36 pieces of paper altogether. She has 10 more triangles than squares. How many pieces of paper are triangle, and how many pieces of paper are squares? First, how many paper did Jane use? She has used 36 pieces of paper. So we may divide 36 pieces of paper into 2 equal parts, which is 36 divided by 2 equals 18. Let's say that she has used 18 triangles and 18 squares. But the question says that she has used 10 more triangles and squares. So now, let's divide 10 into 2 equal parts. Ten divided by 2 equals to 5. So which shape does she has more? She has more triangle. So we can add 5 to 18. Which is equals to 23. And subtract 5 from the number of squares, which is equal to 13. So 23 plus 13 equals to 36, while 23 minus 13 equals to 10. Let's move on to page 8. Charlotte's class is having a contest to guess the number of marbles in a bottle. Charlotte's guess is 172, and Kitty's guess is 197. There are actually 182 marbles. Whose guess is the closest and by how much? So let's have a look at the number line. Jala thinks that there are 172 marbles. And Kitty thinks that there are 197 marbles. So what is the actual number of marbles? There are 182 marbles. So whose guess is closer? Jala's guess is 182 minus 172, which is equals to 10. So her guess is 10 marbles away from the actual number. For Kitty, we have 197 minus 182. Which is equals to 15. So her guess is 15 away from the actual number. So whose guess is closer? The smaller the difference, the more closer it is. So Jala is closer. So the difference between the actual number and the one she gets will be 182 minus 172 equals to 10. Now let's move on to the question down below. Tom has 35 toys. Justin has 8 more toys than Tom. How many toys do they have in all? First, how many toys does Tom has? He has 35 toys. How about Justin? The question states that he has 8 more toys than Tom. So we can use duplicate again, which is 35 plus 8 equals to 43 toys. So the final question is asking how many toys do they have in all. So we can add the 35 toys that Tom has with the 43 toys that Justin has. So altogether they have 78 toys.